we are doing a watch reaction for the entire Justice League animated series.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
That's going to be a tall order. Is it a tall order or tall feat?
That's a good question.
It's going to be quite a mission. Thankfully, I love Justice League. I wouldn't just watch anything just for the sake of watching. Do you know what? Do you want this to sit down, record, edit? No, siree, Bob. Maybe if it's a thing where it's a collective effort and people are like, oh, you should check out this show, or can we get a rant from you about this show or this movie, then I might check it out. But most of the times I intend to watch things that, bring me joy, make me ponder, add positivity to my life, elevate the mind, the thinking, so on and so forth.
That's right.
There are other people that I follow on Patreon as well, and I saw them doing the Friends series and some other old shows. And I was thinking to myself, do I need to do new shows only, or can I do old movies, old shows?
Yes.
And my mind was like, dude, Justice League. I was like, oh, dude, say less. Justice League it is. And I want to do the whole collection. That means Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Nice.
But we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We need to take time and take it slow, softly, and gently. No rush. No rush.
That's what I'm talking about.
So without further ado, let's get into it. For me, this is my DC universe.
What do you mean by that?
Outside of Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's, full 4-hour version of Justice League-ish. There's some things I didn't like about that movie, but at least he did something better than nothing. I mean, he did something which is better than nothing. Now, Mr. James Gunn's Superman does not exist to me at all.
Damn.
Yep. Same thing with the Supergirl movie. Doesn't exist to me at all.
You are mean.
I'll see it and then I'll do a review for it and then do a watch reaction down the line. I'll also do a breakdown of scenes and stupidity that I don't like because I'm expecting it to be stupid. I'm expecting certain parts of it to be stupid. But at least the Man of Steel, which I'm going to do a watch reaction for down the line as well. But I felt, let me just do something that I'm really passionate about and excited to do, which is the Justice League animated series, which would be season 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many seasons is in this series.
You serious?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, like I said, this is my DC universe. Because I don't read the comics, and
What?
it doesn't mean I don't like comics. It's just something that I don't know if it's a childhood thing with issues with reading or something. I prefer to watch a thing than to read it. It's not a bad or good thing. It's just how I take in information. I prefer to watch or listen than to read. I don't know if there's something stuck somewhere in my psychology, or it's just the way I'm built as a whole. But yeah, that's my thing. So with all the DC movies out there, the old ones, they're cool. What's his name? Michael Keaton's Batman is cool. Christopher Reeve's Superman is cool. And there are other movies out there that I was like, they're pretty cool. Even the first Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot, that was all right. Could have been better, but it was all right. Where I was hoping Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers would draw more inspiration from was from the DC animated Batman, the original animated series, the Superman animated series, and then the Justice League. And the Justice League animated movies as well. I thought and hoped DC would pull from all these different sources alongside with the comics, of course. But when Zack was hired and Zack wanted to do his own thing, I thought, you know what? It's okay. This is not my universe. We'll see what they do, and fingers crossed. And it came out to be what happened to it. But for me, the DC animated universe still stands as my prime and main DC universe, and then Man of Steel moving forward.
You keep talking, man.
Let's get into it, shall we? Space, the final frontier. I'm surprised there's those voices whispering to him, come and touch me.
What?
So I wonder how the whole thing caved in because of that one little piece. Or was that like the lock? Like a secondary lock?
That's a good question.
Black guy got out of there quick, man. He said, look out, and he moved.
That's right.
He hightailed it out of there real quick.
Those weapons are our only defense against aggression.
That brother's starving.
Is this your official position?
No, General Wells does not speak for our government.
So how shielded is the mascara?
Here the
Like
gods
if they...
will protect us.
Okay, cool. So that means if the aliens ever came, like can the aliens attack this land? Like with the mascara is, can the aliens reach there?
Let me explain.
You're trespassing in a restricted area. Our orders are to keep that freak here.
Damn.
But the world's security may be at stake. That's why he'll never leave here alive.
Oh no.
Hold on.
What are they? Who are they? How did they get here? Let's do a reaction to part 2. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is Just imagine this as a movie, but you still got to slow things down. Though. You want to stretch a few things out. You want to get the sniper car reporter. Lewis isn't there on the scene yet. Daily Reporter. You want to do Martian Manhunter's not backstory, but his capture or his reveal to becoming the Martian Manhunter that we know. You want that to be a slow burner. You want to show Batman. You want to get a good scene. Like I feel the way they opened it with Batman investigating the signal thing with the satellite, that was beautiful. Even though people would argue that everyone is more familiar with Superman than Batman, I still feel it's a cool thing to open that whole thing with Batman. I think you should open the movie with Batman, Superman showing up. It's like, yeah, now there's a powerhouse here. The fight is going to go well. All of a sudden, Superman just crashes out like, what the hell is that? And if, he gets knocked out cold, Batman has to save him, deterring his investigation. Then the whole satellite gets blown up. And then Batman comes through. Is like, oh, what happened? Yeah, you freaking messed up my whole investigation, bitch. And then he has to figure out how come that lady was so strong. And when they fell to the ground and blew up, they all came out like liquid and mush, but they were solid at the same time. So the things you'd have Batman, Bruce Wayne talking to Alfred about, like how what's going on. I saw them look like this. I still feel this is the best way to open your Justice League movie with the different characters coming together. And then I feel in an alternate universe, this is how you do it. You open the movie like this, and you do this first before you do your standalone movie with Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. I feel you can do a buddy cop movie with Batman and Superman. But on the other side, you can also do their own standalone movies. I feel the only two characters you should do standalone movies for, I think, give me a second, maybe three. Now I'm thinking three. The only three characters you can do standalone movies for after you open the DC cinematic universe with Justice League is Batman, Superman, and Flash. Then Wonder Woman and Aquaman can get their own buddy cop or joined buddy cop movie / flashback. So that way we get a flashback for Wonder Woman in the buddy cop movie. We get a flashback for John Stewart in the buddy cop movie. And then maybe, I don't know who else would join, Aquaman and Cyborg. You do a buddy cop movie with both of them, then you do a flashback with them as well in the movie. So that way we can get a backstory, how they got here, done. So that way you don't have to do singular movies. Or if you want to do it properly, then you can do singular movies. But this has to tie in together. And because this Justice League movie is not about it's about the forming of the Justice League. So it's not about like an end game boss or end game villain like Darkseid or Darkseid. So there isn't too much pressure. You can just open a full Justice League movie. You're showing that they've already formed a team. It's their first rodeo together. And what better way to show how they work together than this kind of story, having to fight aliens. Then you have the remnants of the aliens as well, still being investigated by the government, alien tech. Then you want to have the conversations of, okay, why did you capture this alien? Why didn't you reach out to Superman, who you know is an alien, to ask him or to bring him on board and say, listen, an alien came to our atmosphere and, he came in under different circumstances compared to you, Superman. So we want to have you liaise with this alien to see what you can find out from him. It'll be the most intelligent thing to do, but because we now know, the aliens or the people that captured him under the guise of the government were the aliens that are trying to infiltrate Earth. So I feel it could have worked. I still feel it can work because I don't know how many other people out there who aren't DC fan or major DC fans. I don't know how many of them have seen the Justice League series. And even if they have, there's certain things we've watched as cartoons. When you do them as live action movies, there's certain things you can get away with, certain things you can add to the whole thing to beef it up a lot more. You can let it breathe this time. It doesn't have to be that, you have to follow the exact thing on the cartoon. And it doesn't have to be that, because people have seen it already. So those guys who have seen it will spoil it for the newcomers, and there's nothing new to look forward to. There's some of us who have watched the series multiple times and are still yearning to see it in live action. So when you announce that you're doing it live action, they'll be like, heck yeah. We just want to see how you translate the animated side into live action and the action you can pull off and the things you can do with the big budget, the casting, how the actors work together, just as the Avengers did. That's what most of us are looking forward to. Again, I understand the fear or worry that because people have seen it already, they will spoil it for newcomers. Of course, that's why I keep saying you go into the comics and pull out some storylines that are similar, because this cartoon doesn't exist out of thin air. Granted, some storylines have been written fresh and new, but you're still pulling from the original source material, and you're just finding ways to bend and merge and combine a few things together to create something unique for newcomers alike and the OG fans. I still feel you can get away with it in the DC DC cinematic universe. You can. Maybe in the future when they fire what's his name, James Gunn, and bring on a new guy, I feel they should find the same writers who partook in this series and wrote some very, very compelling, good storylines. Get those guys on board. Those who are still alive, and even those who, even though you say some of them have passed away, then find those episodes that were written very, very well by the people who passed away. Draw from that, and then do a little mishmash and put together a new story and entertain the fans. Some fans, like I said, are just satisfied with a copy and paste. They don't care whether they've seen it before 1,000 times. In fact, their excitement of them just talking about that particular episode or episodes that they're looking forward to seeing done on the live action screen, that excitement alone is going to pull in new people, their friends, their family members, their fiancés, their husbands, their wives, their partners, their children, and then even strangers, those who go on YouTube and say, guys, they're doing a live action version of this episode and merging this together to relaunch or reboot the DC universe. That will bring in new people for sure. So I still stand by that notion that these 2 episodes alone could be something you merge together as a full-on trilogy. Maybe a trilogy for the Justice League opening, and then you do your you do your standalone movies for each character.
Get this man shit.
All right then, peeps, that's me done. Let me go find episode 2 to do a watch reaction to that one as well. I have, of course, been the one and only multi-potentialite, neurodivergent host,
the Kosmic Jedi. See you on the other side.